Hi, Yildiz. Welcome to the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast.
Hi, Julia. Thanks. Super excited to be here.
Yes, we're excited to have you. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. I think it's a topic that I'm also super passionate about, and I can't wait for us to kind of bring it to our listeners. So, what I would love for you to do to start is, could you share with our listeners a little bit about what you're currently doing with your IHP certification?
Yeah, so I'm actually working with women who struggle with acne and gut health issues. So I'm working with them virtually, and I have a 4-month program that they enroll in, or we do one-off consultations. And I actually just launched an online course on how to do a parasite project, or how to do a parasite cleanse. It's called the Parasite Project. But yeah, I'm just working virtually with clients and helping women with their gut health.
Oh, that's great. And is this something that you've kind of always been interested in? Were you doing something else before you found IHP? What kind of brought you to this point?
Yeah, so I have a long health journey that I went through. Then I found the natural world. I struggled with chronic fatigue my whole life. And then in university, I went through a lot of stress, which messed up my gut. And then I got parasites in 2019 when I went to Bali. So I found out I had parasites through live blood analysis. And that led me to go to school for holistic nutrition at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. And I loved it. It was fantastic. But I wanted to fill in the gaps. And that's where I found IHP. I was on Instagram and I was following a lot of different practitioners on there. And the ones that I really admired and learned the most from all had something in common, and it was IHP. And I was like, wow, I want to learn what these practitioners have learned. So yeah, that's why I enrolled in IHP, was to fill in the gaps and enhance and elevate my education. And that's why I'm here doing IHP now.
Yeah, that's great. It really does it allows you to take what tends to be like a basic holistic nutrition, even, like passionate knowledge about the
Mhm.
wellness, space, and allow you to have a really tangible way to interact with clients and help people get from, one place to another.
Yeah.
So that's great. And as far as what you're currently doing, did you say your practice is all virtual?
Yes, it's all virtual right now.
Yeah, that's great. So what I would love to do is kind of tie what you had just mentioned in, which it seems like kind of your main focus is gut health, parasites specifically. You have it sounds like a passion for that and how it relates to skin. Tell me a little bit about your journey as far as finding out that you had gut-based issues and then it being parasite related. What kind of what things did you uncover with that whole journey?
Yeah. So I have been, the first symptom that I noticed was bloating. And I thought I was just gaining weight. So I tried a bunch of different detoxes, non-functional, just fasting and random supplements, and didn't see any results. So I thought maybe I was gaining weight. So I hired a personal trainer. Nothing really worked. But a business coach of mine suggested, hey, maybe you have parasites. And I did not believe it at all because I didn't think they were really an issue. So I found a practitioner that did live blood analysis, and she was able to confirm that I had parasites. So yeah, I got the live blood analysis done, and it showed that I had parasites. And I had done candida cleansing in the past. Nothing worked, and I had really bad acne, and that really impacted my confidence. I had low energy. I had really bad brain fog too. And a lot of my doctors that I was seeing were like, oh, maybe you're depressed. They tried to medicate me. And I didn't want to do that. I felt like there had to be a better way. So I did the parasite cleanse. I was working with a practitioner at the time. And for the first time in my life, I really started to see results. I had tried everything. I had tried acne creams. I had tried fasting, different supplements, and nothing worked until I started to open up my drainage pathways and do a parasite cleanse. And that's when I started to finally lose the excess weight that was stored on my body. I started to feel like myself again. My skin started to clear up, and permanently. When I was doing those cleanses, I would see a little bit of relief, and then it would come back. And it was really painful. I had nodular acne. So it's like pimples the size of chickpeas almost that are under the skin and don't even always come to the surface. So it was really painful. I could barely turn my head because it was so painful. But yeah, parasite cleansing changed my life. And I was working with women for their acne when I first started my practice. And then I found that a lot of these women did have parasites, and it was the root of their gut and skin health issues. And that's why I decided to pursue this. I was like, people need to know that this is actually a thing, because I myself was in denial. I didn't think we had parasites here in not, I didn't think we had parasite issues here, but it's really, we all have them. They're part of our gut. And the goal isn't to completely eradicate them, but you want to bring that toxicity down. So I wanted to educate people on this, why it's so important and how to prevent it and how to do a proper cleanse.
Yeah, yeah. People, I think they need to be traveling to like third world countries and drinking, water out of a swamp to get
Yeah.
parasites. And the truth is like you can get them on a strawberry that you buy organic from Whole Foods. I mean, you can get them. Sushi is another huge when I like found out that like just eating raw seafood, I loved oysters and I loved sushi. Eating anything that's undercooked, can give you parasites. And it's not like this, oh, you've like done something like, you've been living like dirty, or like they're so common. Swimming in lakes. I grew up swimming in a lake, and even my kids now do. And I, at the end of the summer, do a parasite cleanse with them, because it's just like it can be in duck feces, right? Like there's so many places where this can all come about. And it's so much more common than people think. Is that what you're finding? That like,
Absolutely. I'm finding that we all have them, but some people are more susceptible to getting symptoms. And we want to ask why. Why do we all have them, but some of us get really, really sick? So that's why it's really important to look at the root cause and really support your immune system so that you can fight off these infections if you do get parasites. It's all about the immune system and reducing stress, so that your body is strong and resilient, so that your body is in control and not the parasites. And one thing I wanted to bring up too was I never suspected parasites was because I always associated it with weight loss. That's what we were kind of taught. If you have parasites, you lose lots of weight. And I was on the opposite end of the spectrum. I was gaining lots of weight and I couldn't lose a single pound. And no matter what I did, I just kept gaining weight and I was really, really puffy and I just didn't feel like myself. And I had a super clean diet too. I exercised, I did all the right things. And for whatever reason, I couldn't lose a single pound. And it was because of the toxins from the parasites. So yeah, it's important to know that they'll impact everybody differently. And there's so many different symptoms. So that's why it can be hard to pinpoint the parasites, because they impact everybody so differently.
yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yes, I think some people just have like that loose stool, lower weight. Some people have the water retention and the acne. I've had some clients that just like it causes massive, massive sleep disturbances. So like the only symptom they have is that they're like, they cannot sleep no matter how many sleep supplements we use. And then we parasite cleanse and they sleep through the night. It's crazy. Yeah. Some people it manifests physically, like teeth grinding and, tightness. And so it's, and a lot of people, I think, like you said, only resonate with like what mainstream has kind of taught us about parasites, which is like that they're going to like leach all your nutrients and you'll be super thin and you'll be really quote unquote sick. But yeah, so how have you seen this benefit specifically the women that you're dealing with as far as acne is concerned or gut-based issues? Has this been a huge part of like leveraging your business as far as getting your clients results?
Yeah, I've seen tremendous changes in my clients. Their periods are more regular, so they have less PMS, they're getting their period regularly, their mood has improved because parasites actually hack your neurotransmitters. So that's why you might not feel like yourself. You might feel more irritable, more tired, more angry. So they really impact your mood. And that's how I felt too, is like, I don't feel like myself. This is not me. I felt like something else was in control of my body. And that was literally the case. I find that their hair starts growing back. My nails grow so fast now. And I personally like them short. So I'm like always cutting them. I'm like, man, they grow so fast. yeah, I just feel like I'm even breathing better. My clients breathe better because they're more calm, right? Their body's in homeostasis. There's nothing kind of taking over the body. So many changes, and it feels so good to be able to help them. Their appetite is regulated, so they're not overeating or under eating. Honestly, just so many changes, and it's different for everyone. But a lot of them come to me with acne issues, and they've all cleared their skin from opening up drainage pathways. That's number one. And then removing any excess toxicity and parasites, all that, bringing that down has cleared their skin and improved their gut.
Yeah, and it's like one of those double-edged swords too, where like stress leaves your gut more susceptible to pathogens, overgrowth, whatnot, right? But sometimes, like if the pathogens are already there, that creates a ton of internal stress, which doesn't allow you to like buffer and deal with external stress well, right? And then the body's just, you said, the clients bring themselves back to homeostasis, which made me think of this. When someone's in like chronic fight or flight, it's
Mhm.
almost near impossible for the body to like quote unquote heal, right? So sometimes we have to get these like major things out so that even external stressors can be tolerated better, by the body. It's,
Yeah.
oftentimes one and the other.
For sure. Stress is super important. So I would say that's the root cause. Parasites are root cause too, but they're not the root cause. The root cause is always stress. I find a lot of my clients have had like childhood trauma or some sort of traumatic event, or they just don't handle stress well, and then they're producing less stomach acid, which makes them more vulnerable to things like parasites, and that's where their body can't fight it off. But while we're working on parasite cleansing, it's really important for clients to also manage their stress so that they don't keep getting reinfected and so that their body's more resilient and stronger. So it's really important to address the root cause. What's causing the stress? Is there underlying childhood trauma? It's really important to look at that as well. I take a very holistic approach. You can't isolate something and just work on one area. The body works synergistically together. So I try and help my clients work on all of that. And I can't help them with everything. So I refer them to somebody else, or I refer them to different modalities. I love neurofeedback for retraining the brain. So that can really help with clients who are experiencing chronic stress and are in fight or flight. It's really important to regulate the nervous system if you want to see long-term results. Because I find that even in my own experience, I was constantly cleansing and I would see results, and then they would come back. And I was like, oh my God, what the heck's going on? I just did a parasite cleanse and I feel good temporarily and they're back. So you want to look at the root cause. Why do you keep getting these parasitic infections? It's the toxins. So you want to change your lifestyle because parasites love toxins. So they'll eat all the toxins that you're consuming. So you want to make sure you're doing cleanses regularly. You want to make sure you're changing your lifestyle and make sure you're tackling the stress and whatever is causing that nervous system dysregulation. And I personally love neurofeedback for that, but clients can do energy healing or go to counseling or therapy, just talk about what's going on and address that root cause, which is the stress.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. I think we see so many, clients that, like you said, get better. They do like a CBO protocol, their gut is, better, and then it comes back. And having that connection of like that gut brain axis where, so much of that central nervous system affects essentially what our gut's able to do and not do, right? Are those
Mhm.
tight junctions loosened in the gut? What are we producing for stomach acid, like you said? Is there constant like fight or flight where the body isn't actually allocating any energetic resources to digestion, and then that fermentation is happening? And clients, it's so hard for them to understand how stress will like create gut-based issues, right? If they aren't immersed in this world. But I think so many eventually understand the link and the benefits, and it then creates, like you said, kind of this whole holistic approach of like you're supporting mind, body, and everything at the same time, so that there's not this kind of just, okay, we're going to only work on one thing and isolate it. It really does take a full approach.
Yeah. And I honestly love doing this with clients because like I said, we're not just doing the parasite cleanse, it's really changing your lifestyle. So you're learning how to eat properly again too, to support your digestion. We're always on our phone or watching something, or we're chugging water or eating really fast. Like, you have to change the way you eat too to support your digestion, to improve your gut health. There's so much that goes into it. And it's really an educational process for my clients, because they're not just learning how to do a parasite cleanse, it's everything else too, how to support digestion, detox practices like tongue scraping to get rid of all that film that's on your tongue in the morning. Dry brushing, we talk about all of this because it's also important. That's what I love about IHP. It has such a holistic approach. And I'm so grateful for the program, because I was able to enhance my education, and I can teach my clients how to do all this stuff, not just the cleansing, but all the lifestyle and mindset work that goes into it. It's not as simple as just doing the parasite cleanse. You have to be willing to make some other changes to see long-term results. And you know what? Clients leave this feeling so different. They really are able to build a new life for themselves because they're learning so much, and it's easy things that they're able to implement, like dry brushing and walking, changing their water. It's a really, really cool experience. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to teach them all this stuff. It's not just parasite cleansing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it puts a lot of the power back to the client too, when it's not just like, here, take these supplements and like everything's gonna get better, right? It really does take a full lifestyle commitment to quote unquote heal, right? Because you didn't get there overnight. It's certainly not going to get better with just a few supplements overnight. And to make sure that you're not constantly spending time looking for one more thing to fix and fixing it, month after month, it does take like a complete lifestyle overhaul. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Your Parasite project, which is the the group program that you launched about parasite cleansing. Tell us a little bit about that and how you feel like that's impacted your ability to kind of maybe reach more people, or yeah.
Yeah. So I have a 4-month program that's more the group setting, but I actually launched an online course. So I wanted to teach other nutrition students and practitioners and potential clients who can't invest in one-on-one sessions to do it themselves. So I have actually worked with my friend Brittany to build this course, and it's a comprehensive course. So it's self-paced online, and they go through the modules themselves. So it's an actual course. So it teaches you how to open up your drainage pathways, which is really important. You never want to go into a parasite cleanse without doing that. Otherwise, you're going to get more sick. Your body needs to be able to go to the bathroom and sweat in order to eliminate these toxins. So we discuss all of that. The what to do before a cleanse, how to do the cleanse itself, and after the cleanse. So yeah, we have a ton of different modules in there. We built it so that it's self-paced. And we did this because we really want people to learn how to do it properly and make it accessible to people, make the information accessible and the ability to do it accessible. So anyone can do it. Really excited about it. I think it's going to be fantastic for a lot of new students and practitioners who have graduated from any sort of nutrition school and haven't been taught how to do parasite cleansing, because I personally wasn't. The school that I went to didn't really talk about it. So that's why I was never able to address it within myself or my clients in the beginning of my practice. So that's what motivated me to build this course. But yeah, it's fantastic, and it's loaded with tons of information. If people are on my Instagram, they're able to see exactly what modules are included in the course. It covers pretty much everything you need to know about how to do an effective cleanse.
Yeah, that's great. And as far as your clients who have kind of gone through it, have you seen anybody get to the point where you have, where they're like, oh my gosh, I never thought I would get rid of like my bloating, my skin issues, and gone to like changed career paths and become, maybe like look into your course and do that and start working with their own people? Have you seen any of that yet?
A lot of my clients leave feeling like they're more in control of their life. And I have had clients who are super passionate about it, and they're more interested in nutrition too. So they actually want to pursue something because it's impacted them so much. A lot of the people that I work with, they're like, I've been sick my whole life, or I've been sick for years and I have no idea what's going on. And they're honestly on the verge of depression because it's consumed them. And I was there too, where I was like, oh my God, like my life has revolved around this. And it's always, what supplement can I take next? Which practitioner can I see next? And it really consumes you, and you almost have to learn to live your life again. But yeah, a lot of my clients get excited and they're like, oh my God, I need to tell people about this. I want to help people too. And they want to pursue what I've done too. And I always encourage that because we need more of us. And that's why I focus so heavily on education. Even when I'm working with clients, I want them to know exactly what they're taking and why and how it's going to impact them. And I thought, what better way to do this and build an actual course where people can go through it and teach themselves. But yeah, it's amazing. People leave and they're like, I feel empowered and I want to help other people do this too. I have definitely had clients who have said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it really can be life-changing, as obviously many of our listeners, many of my guests, would all share. So yeah, that's great. As far as your majority of education, so if like people are listening and obviously you have your course, do you have like favorite podcasts or favorite like people on Instagram that you kind of have gotten some of your like parasite inspiration from, even before when you were just looking into things? Do you have anybody or books? A lot of times now people are reading books as much as they are doing, listening to podcasts and following people on social media. But
yeah, well, obviously I love the IHP podcast because I learn a ton from that podcast. They talk about so many different healing modalities and so many different health issues. So I learn a lot from that. I really like Emily Morrow. I found IHP through her and Biohacking Bombshell. They both talk a lot about parasite cleansing and root cause. And that's how I found IHP. So I love that. And I love Dr. Joe Dispenza because he talks a lot about mindset and how powerful we are as humans. We can really literally rewire our brains. And when I watched, I think the documentary was called Heal on Netflix, that actually really sparked interest in this world. I was like, wow, if he could heal his spine by doing a meditation and rewiring his brain, I was like, oh, how could I not heal my gut? So that was really fascinating. I love his work. And I think it's really important to do the physical. You need to do that as well, the cleansing, but the mind is so important. How you think on a daily basis is super important. So yeah, I absolutely love Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, I love him too. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Emily Morrow and Biohacking Bombshell, which her first name is escaping me now. But yes. Yes. Yeah. Alyssa. Yes. Yeah. They've both been on the show. They're great. And Joe Dispenza, I mean, that in my opinion, if you could only do one, right? I've seen so many clients who can't get the mental and the kind of like physical, the mental and energetic part down, and the physical stuff is just so hard to see success with.
Absolutely.
Versus if somebody has like the mental down and they're kind of energetically aligned and they're doing a ton of the stress work, I just don't see the same physical manifestations in those clients, right?
Absolutely.
It's so powerful, in my opinion. Like you said, of course, there's physical stuff that we absolutely have to. And like I said at the beginning of the show, there's so many things that can cause stressors that are physically internal, right? That can make you feel depressed. And like, you need to, work on that part. But I think the mindset piece is, incredibly important. And I love that documentary. Heal is great. I use that analogy that he talks about all the time about like the running from the lion, right? Like everybody just assumes that our bodies know it's 2023 and that, their stress isn't physical imminent danger, right? But that's all our bodies biologically kind of are able to perceive, right? The constant running is just constant imminent threat. And a body running from a threat isn't going to heal you. That's not what it
Yeah.
will put as a priority. It will put the priority as escaping the lion.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why the holistic approach works, right? It's because you're working on everything together. And the mindset is really important. You have to believe that you can get better because your mind is so powerful. And if you're stuck in this victim mode and believing that you're not going to get better and this is just how your life is, you're really not, because you're manifesting that back into your life and you're going to keep feeling that. So that's the hardest, is rewiring your brain, changing your mind and believing that you can heal. And that's what I really struggled with. I kind of identified as this sick, tired girl, and I had to like work really, really hard to change that. I've been on this journey for like 10 plus years, almost 15 years. And prior to that, I was just always tired as a kid. But my gut health issues started early university. So that was years ago. And the hardest part was believing this is not you. You can get better. And you will get better. And my body has the ability to heal. That was the hardest part, but it's, it feels so good. I feel so empowered that I put this work in and I've really changed my life, and it just feels so good. And now I'm able to help other people do that and help them get their life back. That's really what it is, getting your life back, because it really does consume you when you're constantly tired, or, when you have IBS symptoms and you don't know if you can go out. I struggled so much with that. I never wanted to go out because I was like, I don't know if my clothes are going to fit. Like, I always felt uncomfortable. I didn't know if I was going to have brain fog. I remember I used to go out for dinner with friends, and if I ate gluten or something bad, I would have brain fog to the point where I couldn't talk anymore. Like nothing made sense. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on right now. I couldn't talk, and I'd be like, okay, I need a minute, because my brain fog was so bad. And I felt like an old woman stuck in like a 22-year-old's body. And how do you explain that to a medical doctor? They think you're nuts. They want to medicate you. And I was so young, I didn't know what brain fog was. I thought I just wasn't getting enough sleep, but food sensitivities can do so much damage. It really impacted my brain. But I'm so grateful to have overcome all of that, and I can help people now. It feels really good.
Yeah, before we started recording, we were talking for a second about how like IHPs and really like anybody in the holistic health space, how we all have this thing in common where we have all kind of had this shift from a place where we just weren't well to feeling a world of difference better, right? Where like there's just like something inside of you that's like, I want to help anybody that's ever felt this way.
Yeah.
Whereas, maybe conventional, doctors, allopathic practitioners go to school, to just like be a doctor, like I'm going to be a doctor. And they don't actually have something that makes them relatable to clients, or that has some sort of like bearing on their passion. And I think that that's what kind of like sets us apart, is you like your passion is very palpable. It's clear to probably, I'm sure, all of your clients that where they are, you've been there, and you know where they could get to, what's on the other side waiting for them if they put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so different when you've experienced it yourself and you're just looking at your client. You know exactly where they are because you've been there, and you just want to help them because they deserve it. You deserve to get better. And there's no one like someone who's experienced what you're going through that's going to get you there, because we've done it. We've gotten better, and we can help you do it too. So to anyone who's listening, you can get better. You just have to believe that. And there are practitioners out there that are going to help you.
Yeah. And not only that are going to help you, but that's essentially their whole life purpose, is to help people that have been in the same position they were. Yeah, absolutely. If people are listening and they want to kind of find out more, where are all the places that you show up, website, social media, and then share with us again your, the Parasite course.
Yeah, for sure. So I have my Instagram account. That's where I'm active. It's naturally.yildiz. That's on Instagram. And then I am on TikTok as well. So we have a TikTok specifically for the Parasite Project. So you can find us on there. I'm also on TikTok as naturally.yildiz. And then I have my website. All of my links are on my Instagram and my bio. So you can find anything you need on there. And yeah, the Parasite Project is live. So if you're listening and you're a IHP student who wants to learn more about parasites, or you've taken a different nutrition course and you want to learn exactly how to do a protocol for yourself or your clients, it's all in there. It's a very comprehensive course. You can send me a message if you have questions, but the curriculum is on my Instagram page, and it's live. It's there for people to purchase. So if you have an interest in gut health and root cause, that's the course for you. We do talk about more than just parasites. We do talk about mold and co-infections. We talk about biohacking, so how to do coffee enemas, castor oil packs, sauna, how to regulate your nervous system and different modalities that you can use to help bring your body back into balance. It's a very holistic and comprehensive course. It's more than just parasite cleansing. And we do have other notes in the course too, different modules that go over next steps. So if you want to enhance your education or take it further, we do have different programs on there that you can take. So I've listed IHP on there for people who want to begin their practice, who might just be taking the course to learn how to do parasite cleansing, but aren't practitioners, and you find it interesting and you want to become a practitioner. We have a bunch of different courses that we have taken that are in there that you can check out if you want to become a practitioner. So tons of resources in the course, and they have access to us as well if they have questions along the way.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. This is such a great interview, and I appreciate you sharing everything that you did with us today.
Thanks, Julia. It was so awesome chatting with you. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. Thanks, Yildiz.
Thanks. Bye.